Welcome to Figure Drawing Tips to Keep in Mind. Today I'm going to go over somebody's figure drawing, Andrea's figure drawing, and I'm going to be giving her some tips as I draw. And I think you're going to find this helpful. Hi, my name is Luis Escobar. I'm a storyboard artist on the Simpsons television show. I've been working on the show for over 20 years. For years and years and years, I've been figure drawing. It's kind of like the essential thing to do when we are learning to become better draftsmen overall. I highly, highly recommend figure drawing because it is so difficult that being able to do it well requires pretty much everything that you can possibly learn about drawing all rolled up into one. Okay, so today let's take a look at this thing. We're going to go over this. So Andrea's got this drawing over here. Based off of this photograph. It's a good start. It's a good drawing. You can see that she's thinking through the shapes, and it's very solid. So it's not like she's being arbitrary or whatever. She's really trying to get this to really work. Another thing that I really like about it is that she's drawing on paper. It's really important to just drawing on paper, being analog. First, there's no undo button, so whatever you put down, you're gonna have to put down. Sure, there's erasers, but there's something about being tactile and having something on a sheet of paper that really helps. Because you're not hindered with this whole digital thing. You're not fighting the tool. You only get the pencil and that's it. Okay, so one of the things, let's get started with some of the things that I'm going to be talking about here, specifically about her drawing in general. I'm going to come up with these. I actually wrote down what I'm going to be talking about specifically for over her drawings, just so that I could be a little bit more organized. Gesture first, structure second, watch your widths, check your negative spaces. So I'm going to talk about all those things right now. First, let's talk about gesture first. Everything that we do when we figure draw, what we want to do is we want to capture the forces, the energy of the pose. So, for example, right here we've got this person, and there's a certain amount of balance that's going on. There's a thrust coming in through here and going down. This is kind of like the gesture, okay? That's what we're looking for. We're looking for where the energy is, where the balance is going. We're not really thinking about structure, and we're trying to capture the essence and the power of a pose. So let me try this out here. So let me show you what I mean. So let's take a look at this figure, and let's just start with the head, just to anchor ourselves somewhere. And this is what I'm looking at. I'm seeing this. I'm looking at this. There's this going on with the shoulders going this way, the hips are going this way. And if that's the case, then let's push that. And then the hips are coming down this way. This is what I'm talking about when I'm talking about gesture. We're looking at the energy, what's going on here, and then we're pushing it, we're enhancing it. We're looking for what makes this pose look right. Now there's a little bit of a balance going on here. Now notice that when I went this way, what I'm trying to do is capture the width of this. So that's a watch your widths. Gesture first, structure second, watch your widths. Okay? Now let's take a look at hers. Look how wide this is compared to this. it's not quite right. So yes, we're eyeballing it, but we're trying to actually keep this this width of the head. I mean of the torso. Also, notice that my legs are not broken down into these sausages. What happens here, first of all, organic things aren't sausages. They're very liquidy, they're very fluid. They go into each other like this. They're very watery, very wavy. Nature just, at least in our bodies, there's a lot of this going on. What happens here when you do this is, well, let me just backtrack. When you're doing this, your eye naturally flows in and out through these curves. The body's made out of these curves even if we don't notice them right at first. What this does is it unifies our drawing and unifies our body, and it gives motion and movement to our figure. What happens here when you do this sort of thing, you're starting and stopping the eye, starting and stopping the eye. Every single time you get to these points, you stop, which means that you're breaking up the body parts into stopping points, into traffic jams. There's no flow there. So you want to avoid Michelin, you want to avoid the snowman body parts. So there are two solutions you can make, and one of them is being extremely simple. Extremely simplify your drawings. So that is what I'm doing right now. What I'm doing is I'm taking this hip, which I connect to this side, and I'm going all the way down with one line. I'm just pretending that this line goes all the way down. Boom. Like this, like a big S, you know? Because again, this is what we're looking at. We're looking at this. These S curves. So it's boom, boom. See? Boom, boom. That's where the foot's going. This again. Now again, check your negative space. What's this space doing? What is this space right here? This is how you check to see if your areas are correct. Why not just simplify it? Make it a circle. Boom, and then an S curve right here. It's simple, and then right back. See, boom, boom, and we're doing this. Check this negative space. So we've got a very simplified gesture of our body. By the way, see, I'm going to show you this. This neck, boom, boom, like boom, boom. Neck, torso. So that's what we're doing here. Again, it's the wavy, wavy body. None of this Michelin Man stuff. So here we got this. Here we got this. A pointy, very simplified gesture of the foot. Gesture of the foot. And now we've got these shoulders. And what we want is just a simplified arm. So we're going to check this negative space. so we can see where the arm would probably go. Now, since we exaggerated this, this negative space is slightly modified. We're checking the distance between this. Maybe we want to be a little skinnier. Because we got 1, 2 lines. 1, 2 lines. 1, 2 lines. We want this to be about the right width. Again, same with this. And again, we're checking this negative space. Now we're going to check this negative space right here to guide us into what we're going to do with this arm and where this arm should go. Now we could exaggerate it, and we should be exaggerating, so okay, so now we've got a gesture. When drawing, and this may or may not be the right proportions. I'm just eyeballing the proportions because this really, right here, what's going on here. So at first what we're doing is the gesture. We're not worried about structure. We want to just get the forces that are at work here, and we're simplifying as much as possible. If we need to indicate the knee, you could just put a circle here where the knee would probably go, or you can do a wraparound. Now ideally, the whole notion of doing this wraparound thing, that's ideal. Something that you ought to practice just so that you know what the structure of things are. So we're seeing the perspective. So once you've got the gesture, you're trying to figure out the perspective of these body parts. So this is going this way, and then it's turning, 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 turning. This is going down. This is going this way, down. So this is an exercise I highly recommend, is doing the gesture and then trying to solve the direction of the body by making these spirals around the body so that you can better see what the perspective of all these body parts are. Okay? Because now we're actually seeing the form. Now we're actually defining the structure just using these very simple limbs. You can say that here is where the elbow connects, and here, right here, is the other one. Okay, so that's what we're trying to do right now. So the very first thing that you want to do is gesture first, structure second. Structure begins with understanding the form, what direction the form is going. If you're not clear about what direction the form is going, draw the spiral version of it. Draw through, and then just make yourself a clean, clear version of the direction of where things are going. Okay? Watch your widths. Make sure that your widths are correct. Okay? And check for negative spaces. Anytime that you're not sure where the limbs should start or stop, or where it should go, check your negative space. See where what this shape actually does, and then start trying to define your figure more by looking at the spaces in between the limbs. And they are really good guides as to where to put your limbs. Okay? So that's where I would begin. Now, if you wanted to start solidifying this a little bit more, then we'd go into something a little bit deeper. Now, that's when we start. That's when all our spirals start coming in handy. Okay, so I'm going to have to split this video into two parts because it's going to go a little bit long. So what I'm going to do is just stop this video now. And in the next video, I'm going to go over Andrea's drawing directly so that you can see specifically some of the Steve Houston structure that I'm going to do on top of her drawing. If you found this video valuable, I would like to encourage you to return value for value by becoming one of my patrons over on Patreon. Not only will you encourage me to continue making informative videos that are useful to you, but you get extra perks too. For only a small investment of $1 a month, you can get all new videos I create months before anyone else gets to see it. Also, if you have any questions you'd like me to answer as a patron, you get priority and I answer your questions first. High-tier patrons also get access to any art I do in high-res JPEGs and also full access to PSD files to any work I do, including the PSD files of these videos. Currently, there's a huge backlog of downloadable files you can get, so right away you're getting a lot of bang for your buck. And the more patrons I get, the better these videos will get. The more content I can produce. In other words, the more you benefit. Please consider becoming a patron. Thanks. The links to my Patreon is on the screen and in the description of this video below. Okay, so I'll see you next time. All right, bye.